$1 billion after their capstone acquisition upcoming this year. So it's the second largest packaging company in America and one of the world's largest paper and packaging providers. It employs about 42,000 employees across 30 different countries. It's mostly business to business with consumer or customers such as Amazon, Chick-fil-A, Kellogg, Dove, Domino's, a lot of customers. And then, so it's divided into two main divisions, one being corrugated, which makes up about 55% of the business, and that's just your big brown shipping boxes. A lot of our customer comes from Amazon. And then consumer makes up about 45% of the sales, and that's going to be your Chick-fil-A nugget carton, your beer carrier, your displays in Walmart. And so I was in the consumer mills division, which is the paper mills that produce the paperboard used for the consumer products. There's two different types of mills, one being virgin, which is coming straight from trees, and then one being recycled, which is made from recycled fiber. And then there's a ton of different paperboard that you can use depending on what you need in your product. So during my internship experience, I was able to be a part of the Q2 and Q3 results call, the capital budget meetings for all of the individual mills, the FY19 capital budget for consumer mills, my EBITDA bridge project, which I'll be kind of referencing EBITDA a lot. So it's the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, and then also an intern summit in Richmond, Virginia. So with the Q2 and Q3 results call, we reviewed the performance of the consumer mills. We compared this performance to the budget and the prior year. We compared it to the fiscal year forecast, and then we emphasized what we needed to do in the next quarter in order to meet that forecast. And then the capital budget review with mills, we went over their FY19 budget projections with the mill controller and manager. We took into account the big projects and any projected setbacks. We dug deeper into why these numbers were changing, if they were. And then we always wanted to make sure that we found an overall goal of growing the EBITDA margin and make sure that was taking place. For the FY19 capital budget, we consolidated all of these individual mill budgets into a divisional budget for the consumer mills. There was multiple comparisons used in this presentation, such as the FY19 budget compared to the FY18 actual. And then they also do a 5-year lookout model, kind of seeing where they expect WestRock to be in 5 years. And then they also showed the major projects and then impacts that are going to happen after these projects take place, obstacles they may face, improvements that they're going to make from the previous year. And this goal was to give the overall picture or story to head executives of what you might expect WestRock's financials to look like in FY19. And then for my EBITDA Bridge project, the purpose of this was to illustrate the changes in earnings of a mill by comparing one time period and scenario to another. So here's a few examples of time periods and scenarios that you can use in this bridge model. And it's a really great tool for managers and executives to quickly recognize the goodies and baddies, as Professor Birchfield always mentions, of the mill or division. And then, so to do this, the process would be to pull the financial data from Hyperion, which is our database that we use. We would calculate the content that makes up the bridge, such as price mix, volume, usage, inflation, and then we automate that bridge to be easily changed by mill location, time periods, and whatever parameters you would like to compare. The result of this is an accessible illustration and explanation for the causes that changed earnings at a single mill or divisional level. So a manager can pull this up, see what we earned in one time period, what we earned in the next time period, and then see what changed in between that. So they can quickly say that productivity was up a lot, but inflation and deflation was down quite a bit. Let's look deeper into that and see what caused it. For the intern summit, all of the interns from all locations were brought, from all different departments as well, were brought to Richmond, Virginia. So there was finance, forestry, engineering, logistics. We had some really great speakers, our CEO, our CHRO, and Wendy Gates Corbett, who is a professional speaking coach. And then we also presented our summer internship projects. So a couple intern activities that we got to take part of was the Braves game, bowling, Smyrna facility tour, Chattanooga Mill overnight tour, lunch and learns, really just a way to connect all of the interns and executives in the company and make you feel more a part and gain relationships. And then my advice is definitely to network is my number one. I think it's the single greatest thing you can do for yourself and your profession. It was pretty much the sole reason that I heard about this internship from a complete stranger, just networking. And then also when you're in the company, make sure you set up those lunches with the VPs, the treasurer, get to know everybody, gather their advice, and then let them kind of see you. You want to be involved and engaged, ask to be in the big meetings, ask to be on the big projects. The only thing that they can say is no, and it really does show that you're initiative and you really want to be a part. I got to sit in on a lot of meetings with people I didn't think I was ever going to even meet, And it was really cool seeing them work together in their view of the company as a whole. Be prepared. It makes presentation perfect. You never know who could be reading it. You may be making this for a coworker or a manager, but it may work its way up to the CEO. And then also to take initiative to do things on your own. If you're not a proficient at Excel, get on YouTube, and you really need company knowledge to understand the financial models you're looking at. You're never going to understand what those numbers mean unless you know the company itself. Also get involved, join clubs and organizations. It's a great way to network and meet people. You build team building skills, time management skills, looks great on resumes. And also think ahead about what you would like to do after college. Recruiting usually happens a year before the internship actually starts. And the more experience you have, the more of a chance you get the job after college. And then take every opportunity and experience. Not all of these internships are going to be your ideal internship, but you will learn, you will grow, makes you more diversified and and you will appeal better to future employers, and you will learn what you like and you do not like, but they're both valuable. And yeah, that's my internship experience.